Welcome to a new series on the miraculousness of the Quran and its matchless eloquence. Through these episodes, we aim for a greater understanding of the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we ask for His acceptance. The rhetoric of the Quran is of an extraordinary nature. Whether you look to the fluency of its word order, excellent composition, originality of its styles, its uniqueness and unearthliness, the brilliance of its expression, its superiority, its being the quintessence of language, the force of its meaning and soundness, its truths, or its fluency and eloquence, you will see that it is truly miraculous. Its eloquence is such that it invites the most resourceful poets, eloquent writers, articulate speakers, and knowledgeable scholars to copy it and create something like it. It has defied them for over 14 centuries. And just as magic was prominent at the time of our master Moses, and medicine at the time of Jesus, upon them be peace. The most important of their miracles came in those forms. In the same way, the Quran of miraculous exposition came at the time when rhetoric was the most prominent currency. Eloquence and rhetoric had great influence in the lives of the Arabs. Murderous battles would begin because of the eloquent outbursts of a single poet, just as wars would lay down their burdens. In this atmosphere, the Quran challenged the eloquent Arabs of that time to produce a chapter as short as its shortest. It challenged them with addresses such as, if you are in doubt concerning the revelation that we have sent down on our servant, then produce a single surah the like of it. If it had been possible to produce the like of it, is it conceivable that they would have chosen the more dangerous and difficult way of war? That too, when a simpler, easier solution existed. All they had to do was put together a few letters to be rid of the Quran's claims once and for all. They could have thus saved themselves from physical and moral defeat. The Quran of miraculous exposition challenges men and jinn, as if saying, if you have any doubt that the Quran is the speech of Allah, imagining it to be the speech of a man, here is the arena before you. Bring a book the like of this Quran, written by an untaught man, who neither knows nor has studied reading or writing, like Muhammad, whom you people describe yourselves as the trustworthy one. If you cannot do it, then let it be a person who has studied. Rather, let him be from the most famous literary figures and scholars. If you still cannot do it, gather together all your rhetoricians and orators and all great writings of all past ones, from all ages, and seek the support of your idols and endeavor, with all your strength, to produce the like of this Quran. If you still cannot do it, then at least compose a book comparable in eloquence to the Quran in its artistic word order alone, regardless of the inimitable realities and truths it contains, and regardless of its many immaterial miracles. Let your imitation be fabrications, inventions, lies, and false tales. If you still cannot do it, then just bring 10 chapters, 10 surahs like the Quran, and not the whole of it. If you still cannot do it, then produce a single surah like it. And in fact, this would also be asking for a lot. So make it equal to the shortest of the Quran surahs. You cannot do it, and never will you be able to, even though you are in the most dire need of doing so, for your honor, good repute, pride, religion, tribal identity, dignity, souls, property, and your lives in this world and the next cannot be salved except if you produce the like of this short surah. Thus will your souls and property perish, and you will be left without pride, without honor, religion, and dignity, wallowing in humiliation. And since you have already understood your inability to imitate the Quran, and have chosen the path of war instead of producing something like it, and have failed in all these challenges, there is no doubt that you must admit, to the number of times of your failures, that the Quran is a miracle, and that it is the word of Allah Almighty. Wa alaykum as-salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.